So it wasn't a pleasant exit. Your statement pretty much reflects that. Can you take us through, what prompted your step down? You've mentioned it briefly in the mail, but if you can just give us some details on, what prompted your exit from the board.
I'm afraid, yes, it's unfortunate. I love to be on that board and I like the atmosphere there. But, the circumstances were very different yesterday and, primarily there are several risks a company faces, and at this point in time that company faces significant risks on account of the loss of confidence of Tata Sons, which is the promoter of Tata Chemicals Limited, a 1939 company, the loss of confidence in Cyrus Mistry and his removal as chairman of Tata Sons. I therefore requested that Cyrus Mistry step down of chairmanship for this meeting and instead an independent director chair the meeting. The risks were detailed out in the presence of both Cyrus Mistry as well as the independent directors. And of course, the board is the most supreme body. There were no discussions addressing these risks, and the independent directors went on instead to make a statement which in my opinion did not take into account my views. I therefore felt that I am no longer required in this board and therefore decided to resign.
Right. So just want to understand, you mentioned that, you detailed these risks, but the spirit and contents of the stock exchange announcement by the independent directors of Tata Chemicals did not take that into account. Can you tell us what these risks were? Were they reputational risks, business risks, perception risks? Just some details on this that will, also assuage shareholder concerns.
Chandra, with due respect to the media, and I have the greatest respect for my colleagues on that board, my former colleagues on that board. I will not be able to disclose those. There are several risks, all of which, they could be reputational, they could be financial, but that is not the essence. The essence is that my views are not important enough and no discussions took place, and therefore I didn't feel like continuing on the board.
Right. It was also a fairly unusually long board meeting. I know my colleagues in Bombay were tracking this for about 4-5 hours. So was there a lot of back and forth, with respect to these views and, the views of the independent director? Just want to understand.
No. It's just a board meeting like this takes long. And there are healthy discussions and views are stated and discussions happen. So, the duration of the meeting, I really can't comment on why it took so long, but they were long discussions.
Right. So did you consult with the Tata Sons Board or Mr. Tata himself before taking this decision? It must have been very difficult for you as well to, step down in this matter.
No, I was not in the Tata Chemicals board at the pleasure of anyone except the Tata Chemicals board. They were the ones who invited me for whatever reason, because of my consumer products experience. So that's not the essence. I am still a member of that. I was a member of that board till yesterday. I was invited, and that very board, if it felt that my views needed to be diluted, there was nothing. I was not a nominee of Tata Sons, and there was no instruction from it. I made no call to Mr. Tata. I was doing this independently of my own accord because that's what I felt needed to be done.
Right. So just want to understand, I know you don't want to go into details of the risks that you shared, but what has really changed between July and November? Because, only 3 months back, the very same nominations committee, the remunerations committee, commended Mr. Mistry's performance. So won't it also reflect badly on independent directors if they, take an about turn in just about 3 months? Just want to understand if it's...
Look, it is not about the capability of Mr. Mistry. I fully endorse what the independent directors have stated about the past. It has nothing to do with the competence of Mr. Mistry. It was only the event when the promoter has decided that they've lost confidence. The reasons are not about competence. When the promoter has lost confidence, you automatically, my opinion, that he loses the right to chair the company which was promoted by Tata Sons. That was the only thing. The loss of confidence means significant risks. You know, when you say your owner is Tata Sons and the Tata Sons board has asked you to step down and you step down from that board, then you should step down from here as well.
But I guess the issue is also that, he can't be dealt with like a professional CEO. He's also a major stakeholder of the company.
Of which company?
Of Tata Sons. I'm talking about the Shapurji Palonji.
Look, don't ask me about the right and wrong of his role in Tata Sons. Right. I have no access to any information and I have no justification to say anything about what happened there. My only role was at Tata Chemicals, and when I saw this happened, I felt there were risks. So others did not feel. So they are right. So, the majority directors belong to the independent director community. So.
Final couple of questions, sir. There is a sense today that certain people, like Mr. Nusli Wadia, have been helping Mr. Cyrus Mistry, behind the scenes, and now Tata Sons wants Mr. Wadia out of the boards, to ensure that he doesn't interfere. Do you endorse that view, sir, on Mr. Wadia's role?
I have deep respect for Mr. Nusli Wadia. He's a fine gentleman. He has contributed a great deal in the Tata Chemicals board. I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, these are all. I think this thing about nexus between Mr. Nusli Wadia and Cyrus Mistry. These are all people's opinions. Right. So I don't carry any such opinion.
Right. Finally, sir, the events in the last couple of weeks, it's come as a huge shock, not because this is just another corporate battle, but, because it is the Tatas, it's more than a brand. What do you think is the way forward? I mean, is there an option, for some mediation, out-of-court settlement? Because every day we hear two different versions coming from two different camps. It's clearly become a very acrimonious battle. And, it must hurt you as well, because I'm sure this is nothing that you've ever anticipated, being a Tata veteran.
It's unfortunate, but it has happened. And
But has it brought down the morale of long-term executives like you, long-time executives like you?
No, I think these are incidents which we have to overcome. As executives, because we have no control over the events. But having said that, we have to manage the morale of our people who may get shocked, especially in Tata Chemicals, which is such an old company.
Right.
And those people, I don't know whether their morale is hurt. I believe it is hurt, but the confusion that is prevailing, we have to manage. The managing directors of each of those companies has to manage the morale. How it has to happen at the level of Tata Sons is something, I think it's more about people, just understanding each other and getting along.
Right. Finally, would you say this has then been a clash of culture, so to speak? Because you said, I'm not questioning Mistry's competence. Would you say it's been a clash of culture, Mistry's tough love vis-a-vis the more paternalistic approach that the Tatas have, traditionally taken from JRD to Ratan?
I cannot comment on any such thing. Tough love and all these are all words. And to conclude so rapidly that, I think what happened in Tata Sons Board, I have no justification to comment on. There must have been reasons. There were directors there, and I only take it as an incident that happened. I'm only interested in the board in which I was till yesterday, protecting the interests of that company, its stakeholders like employees, consumers, community, shareholders. So I was limiting my actions and my opinions to that.
Has this had any impact on Titan? I know, the distance has certainly helped, that it's in Bangalore, it's, majority owned by the Tamil Nadu government. But has it had an impact at all? Every day these headlines, the counter punches.
No, I have given confidence to the employees in Titan that they shouldn't worry. They should go about their jobs as usual and keep adding value every day. and that we will take care of events that unfold in case they impact Titan, but Titan, as you said, is minimal.
Yeah. Thank you so much for talking to us, Mr. Bhat. Thank you.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.